3 days after change in power equations in NCP, today it was time for both the rival factions to do a status check of strength. In almost a simultaneous head-counting exercise, Ajit Pawar group met at the Mumbai Education Trust in Bandra, while Sharad Pawar Camp huddled together at the YB Chavan Centre. The atmospherics were on point, the posters, the sloganeering, all at a crescendo from both sides. But when it came to the numbers, Ajit Pawar clearly seemed to have an edge, with 31 NCP MLAs in attendance compared to only 17 at Sharad Pawar's house. However, the number is still less than the 37 number that is needed to avoid anti-defection fallout. However, Ajit Pawar said that all MLAs are in touch with him, even those attending the meeting with Sharad Pawar, eventually taking a swipe at his 83-year-old uncle, advising him to retire.
तुम्ही आशीर्वाद द्या ना. आपले वरिष्ठ नेते चव्हाण साहेबांच्या समाधीला गेले. ठीक आहे, चव्हाण साहेब आपल्या सगळ्यांचं दैवत आहे. आता जर वय जास्त झालं, 82 झालं, 83 झालं, तुम्ही कधी थांबणार आहात का नाही? तुम्ही आशीर्वाद द्या ना. त्याच्या संदर्भामध्ये आम्हाला वाटतं तुम्ही शतायुष्य व्हावं.
सेना आणि बाळासाहेब ठाकरे यांनी केले असेल. आपण वैचारिक म्हणतो, वैचारिक म्हणजे काय? आयडिओलॉजी ना. तो शिवसेनाची आयडिओलॉजी जेव्हा आपण स्वीकारू शकतो, आपण त्यांनी मिठी मारू शकतो, मग आपण भारतीय जनता पार्टीकडे आपण का बघू शकत नाही? अरे, काश्मीरच्या मेहबूबा मुफ्ती, काश्मीरचे फारुख अब्दुल्ला हे बीजेपी बरोबर जाऊन एनडीए मध्ये जाऊ शकतात. मी पाटणाला काही दिवसा अगोदर साहेबांच्या बरोबर सर्व विरोधी पार्टीच्या मीटिंग मध्ये मी गेलो होतो. त्या मीटिंग मध्ये चित्र, ते नजारा जेव्हा मी पाहिला, खरं म्हणजे थोडं हसू येत होता की खरोखर हे असे लोक. त्या 17 पार्टीमध्ये 7 पार्टी दादा कशी होती? खासदार किती? एक पार्टी तो अशी होती की ज्याचा खासदार 0. आणि असे 17 पार्टी तिथे बसून या देशामध्ये आपण म्हणजे परिवर्तन घडवून आणणार. आज जो आपण या निर्णय आपण घेतलेला आहे, या आपला राज्याच्या हितामध्ये घेतलेला आहे, आपला पार्टीच्या हितामध्ये घेतलेला आहे.
Under the prevailing atmosphere of distrust and uncertainty, neither side is leaving anything to chance. Legislators from both sides were today made to sign affidavits to show their loyalty to their respective sides in black and white. Speaking to his supporters, Sharad Pawar said that if tomorrow anyone stands up and claims to be the main party, it cannot be allowed. He said, and I quote, "Have you seen posters and banners by people? My photo is the largest. And that's because they know they have nothing else to bank upon." His supporters also issued a sharp retort to the retirement jibe.
आज जर आमच्या काही विषयांचं एक वेगळं काही बैठक झाली, मेळावा झाला, त्या सगळ्याच्या पाठीमागचे फोटो बघितले. त्या फोटोत सगळ्यात मोठा फोटो होता माझा. आज मुंबईमध्ये सुद्धा अनेक ठिकाणी पोस्टर लावली, त्याच्यात फोटो माझा. त्यांना माहिती आहे की आपलं नाणं चालणार नाही. त्यामुळे जे नाणं चालेल ते चालणारं नाणं घेतलं पाहिजे. कारण त्यांचं नाणं खरं नाही आहे, खणखणं वाजत नाही आहे, हे नाही लोक ओळखतील. त्यामुळे कोणी सांगत असेल की चिन्ह आम्ही घेऊन जाऊ, चिन्ह जाणार नाही, जाऊन देणार नाही. पण चिन्ह घेऊन जात असं तर कुठल्याही चिन्ह असतं, जोपर्यंत सामान्य माणसाच्या अंतःकरणामध्ये त्या पक्षाचा विचार आणि कार्यकर्त्याची भूमिका सखोल तोपर्यंत काही चिंता करण्याचं कारण नाही.
बापाच्या आणि आईच्या बाबतीत नाद करायचा नाही. बाकी कुणाबद्दलही बोला, कुणाबद्दलही आमच्यावर करा, काही करा, पण बापाचा नाद नाही करायचा. बाकी काही ऐकून घेऊ, काहीही ऐकून घेऊ. आणि ही लढाई एका व्यक्तीच्या विरोधात नाहीये, त्या भारतीय जनता पक्षाच्या प्रवृत्तीच्या विरोधात आपल्याला लढायचंय. ही लढाई आहे ती.
And right after the meetings came the big expose that 2 days before the surprise Sunday switch, Ajit Pawar Camp had already written to Election Commission stating that a resolution had been passed electing him as a replacement of Sharad Pawar as the national president of the NCP. Remember, addressing a presser after the swearing-in, Ajit had skirted the question on who is the national president, saying, "Have you forgotten Sharad Pawar?" Was it just a ruse to mislead? Only time will tell, just like many other unanswered questions in this saga. Let's quickly go across to our guest now. Joining us with us is Tuin Sinha, BJP's national spokesperson. Advocate Nikhil Jain is a political analyst with us. Chandrasekhar Jha is a Shiv Sena UBT leader. We have with us Faizan Mirza, NCP leader as well. Faizan Mirza, the battle has truly begun for what really is or who really is going to inherit the symbol and the name the NCP. And it seems that with the letters having been written to the Election Commission and the numbers, at least from what it appears at the moment, the numbers seem to be in Mr. Ajit Pawar's side. Faizan Mirza.
The symbol is of Sharad Pawar Sahib and it will be of Sharad Pawar Sahib only. The thing here is that the situation happened in past of Shinde and Shiv Sena वाला जो इशू हुआ था जो हिंदुस्तान में महाराष्ट्र में, वो विषय यहाँ पर रिपीट नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो वर्डिक्ट अभी महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट पर लास्ट टाइम आया था तो उसके अंदर कुछ पॉइंट्स सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्लियर किए हुए हैं. वो पॉइंट्स को मुद्देनजर रखते हुए पार्टी के अध्यक्ष को ही व्हिप चुनने का अधिकार होता है और यहाँ पर जो पार्टी के व्हिप है वो पार्टी के अध्यक्ष द्वारा चुने गए थे और व्हिप को इन लोगों ने बदला है, वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं हो सकता. और सेकेंड थिंग, कार्याध्यक्ष नामक जो पोस्ट है वो सिर्फ एक नामधारी पोस्ट है. कार्याध्यक्ष पोस्ट को कोई पावर नहीं होता है और कार्याध्यक्ष के द्वारा दिया हुआ प्रस्ताव और किया गई नियुक्तियां सबके सब अवैध है. आने वाले वक्त में इसका आप सबको पता चल जाएगा.
Okay, so let me take the question across to Tuin Sinha. This is what has come out as far as the Shiv Sena judgment from Supreme Court is concerned. The modalities have changed. The court itself has ruled that no one, a president of the party, can make new appointments. Tuin Sinha, does that change things?
Well, good evening, Madhav. Good evening, everybody. Madhav, in this case, if more than two-thirds of the people, two-thirds of the elected MLAs switch over to the other side, then it is, there is no case of defection. They have every right for the parties which has moved out to be the original party. But I think there are more important points over here. I think let the courts take up the technicalities, if at all. There are more important points over here. And the important point is that two people who were responsible for the chaos and uncertainty in Maharashtra in the last 3.5 years, Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar, have finally been consigned into oblivion. Now, there are very important points made by Ajit Pawar. NCP had been in negotiation with BJP periodically since 2014. In 2019, Sharad Pawar was completely privy and complicit in the decision of Ajit Pawar being sworn in as Chief Minister with Devendra Fadnavis, and then Ajit Pawar was villainized. Look at the hypocrisy of this octogenarian leader. Is politics all about just throwing googlies at opponents and backstabbing people? I'm sure there is more to politics. There needs to be some amount of accountability, and clearly, with this politics, Mr. Pawar was losing his credibility.
Well, that's fine for positioning, Tuin Sinha, but you will admit that a lot depends on what happens legally. And the Election Commission is all set to look into that. And that's why I want to bring in Advocate Nikhil Jain. Nikhil Jain, notwithstanding what the courts may have ruled, the fact is that when we look at the ADMK case, when we look at the Shiv Sena case, it's ultimately going to boil down to numbers. Yes, the courts may have said you have to look into the wider membership issues of the party, but look at where the MLAs, where the MPs are all headed. If you look at the sheer numbers, Ajit Pawar is way ahead of Sharad Pawar.
See, first of all, I would like to answer my friend from the BJP that when he talks about Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar being pushed into oblivion, I think that is nothing is farther from the truth. In fact, if there is one person who's being pushed into oblivion, that is Devendra Fadnavis. Somebody who was the chief minister of the BJP in Maharashtra was first pushed down to being a deputy chief minister, and now he's being pushed down to being one of two deputy chief ministers. So far as these MLAs moving is concerned, we've already seen how it is panning out with the MLAs that have gone with the Shinde Sena. There are rumors that Madhav, there's a lot of echo. If you can please get that fixed.
All right, we'll try and fix that.
There are already rumors that a lot of the people who have shifted with Shinde want to come back because they do realize that it is at the end of the day Uddhav Thackeray, Aditya Thackeray, Sanjay Raut who are the leaders of the people, who the people of Maharashtra have voted for and who they would vote for, and not a Shinde or somebody who's giving them 50 khoka oka, right? Similar is the case with Ajit Pawar and the cabal of MLAs that have left
is that
today.
substantiated?
At the end of the day, we must realize that the NCP
How
is a party
are
that
you
is being
making
led
that
by
claim?
NCP.
How are you making this
Which
50 koka claim? What's the basis of that?
Which claim?
You just said something about 50 koka being given.
I don't want to make any claims that would open me up to defamation. No.
Then why are you making them on national television? You want to open us up to defamation?
And Madhav, you and
Please
I
substantiate. No, you can make a claim, sir. You have full freedom of speech in this country. But if you're making a claim, substantiate it. Others don't make it. I mean, you're a lawyer. Of all the people, you should know this.
I tell you what, Madhav, you and I both know, and every panelist on this knows. Of course, I know that. That's the reason I don't want to make it as a strong assertion, for the simple reason that I can't substantiate it with evidence. But that is how these things are. So many of the claims that are made by the BJP and other parties, political parties, they cannot substantiate it. But everybody who is aware of the political, who's in the political know-how of things, knows why the MLAs that went with Shinde went, how much money changed hands, who bought, how much was paid, and this is exactly what is happening right now. Let's not forget
I will only say this, these are political allegations, and since you raised a question, I'm going to allow the BJP to respond.
All have serious ED cases against them.
Sure.
Factual allegation.
You have every right to have your opinion. We cannot endorse any such view, but certainly I will invite the BJP to respond to you on this. Tuin Sinha, once again Nikhil Jain coming up with the allegation there is some kind of allurement that has worked over here. Please respond to him.
Ridiculous and baseless allegations. The simple point over here is undue favoritism being extended to family members in dynastic political parties. Now, between Aditya Thackeray and Eknath Shinde, anybody knows that whose caliber is more. But yet, Uddhav Thackeray wanted to promote Aditya Thackeray. In the case of Sharad Pawar, anybody in this country knows that between Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule, who is more capable. But then Sharad Pawar wanted to promote Supriya Sule. So the point over here is undue favoritism towards family members has its repercussions in democracy, and that is what is happening. Political parties which are falling apart across the country.
Let me bring in Chandrasekhar Jha of the Shiv Sena UBT faction. Chandrasekhar Jha, where does the Shiv Sena UBT stand in all of this? Because clearly, it is a repeat of what has happened with the Shiv Sena that has of course taken place. But when it comes to larger opposition unity, nationally speaking, if one of the central pillars of this, Sharad Pawar, can face such a situation, this certainly doesn't augur well, not just for the MVA alliance in Maharashtra, but also a larger national perspective for opposition unity.
Today calculate the basis of which the opposition is moving, and this kind of intention of BJP to divide and rule the parties in the opposition, it clearly shows that we are already united and we have taken some grass level steps against BJP and their government, and they are very much frightened against the opposition, and we are on roads and they can see that we are doing something and we are taking out all the issues which are in favor of the public, and they are frightful against it.
Okay, so it's there. You have to button because there's some breaking news coming in. Tuin Sinha, Nikhil Jain, Chandrasekhar Jha, Faizan Mirza, thanks so much for joining us. These are